And we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode number 75 of the Tiki, Taka podcast. I'm your host, Peter, and today I'm joined by Cynthia,
Hi.
Steph,
What's going on, guys?
and the big boy from 3-2, Gishbrun.
Hey, what's up, everyone?
All right, so we got another one of them podcasts coming your way. This is going to be an interesting one, pretty classic, because I'm going to try and save some time for that. So, we'll see how long we're going to talk about that. But anyway, let's get right into it. So we're going to go with the chronological order of the games. If I'm not mistaken, Porto were the first team to play, and then Sporting played, and then Benfica played. So that's how we're going to go about it. So we're going to start with Porto, and, I got to give my props to Steph. He was almost right. I think he predicted a 2-2 draw, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct.
So there you go. It was a 1-1. It was real close. Anyway, so let's get into the lineups. José Sá was in goal, Ricardo Pereira, Filipe Marcan, and Alex Telles across the back, so the usual back four for Porto. We saw midfield of Danilo and Herrera, Brahimi and Corona on the wings, with Abubakar and Suarez making his return, starting in this game. Bruno, you're the Portista. I'm going to let you go first. What did you think about the game?
I mean, it was probably Porto's one of the worst performances of the season. We took a nice early lead, but a lot of credit has to be given to Abs and Vidigal for preparing well. I don't know if they got inside information about that they were going to have Suarez and Marega back and the two strikers were going to play, but he played with three center backs in this game. They defended well. They have a lot of experience in the middle. They did their homework in terms of Brahimi, annulling him every time he would come from left to the middle, made that nice diagonal run. They had it blocked every time, and they were forcing him to go elsewhere, and Porto had some trouble finding space in the back. Then we got reduced to 10 men. Corona should have seen a direct red. I want to make that clear for all the fans to understand that
I can scratch the notes that I had.
it should have been a direct red, but it was also unintentional. And we're going to be talking about intentional, unintentional in about a minute, because I know that's going to be brought up, and it was unintentional, but it still was a red card. It still was a foul, and then after that, Porto actually played better with 10 than they did with 11. They started to create more chances, or create more half chances, and they were starting to pressure Ovs a lot more. And then the 90th minute came, and, well, what do you know? In the last 6 games that Rui Costa officiated Porto games, Porto only won 1. Must have been a coincidence.
Too bad on them.
Abençoado.
Had they played well, maybe they would have won.
Or they could have got a penalty at the 90th minute. But
Yeah, right. No, listen. All right. So I don't know about Steph. I don't know about Cynthia. I don't know if they saw the game.
I did.
That's great. Then I'll let you weigh in. I, for once, managed to watch all 3 games from the Big Three. So, I've had Porto's number for 60 minutes. Porto got that early goal, and then after that, they disappeared. I mean, I went, Sport TV had a stat that 57 minutes in, Porto's hadn't had a shot on target for 51 minutes. Their only shot on goal for 57 minutes was the goal. No, you can't blame that on the referee or whatever.
Peter.
Come on.
I'm going to ask you a direct question. It's a yes or no. There's no maybe. Are penalties to be called? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. It doesn't matter if you had 50 shots on goal. It doesn't matter if you had 1 shot on goal. Penalties are to be called.
It matters when the play isn't completely it's not completely clear for everyone. It's not completely clear for the
What do you
referee.
mean it's not completely clear for
the
everyone?
fans. Only the Porto fans can completely say that that's 100% a penalty. No
No,
one else says
no,
it's
because
100% a penalty.
time out. That's where you're wrong, Peter. Because I'm going to tell you, all the ex-referees in the newspapers, everyone on TV, in terms of ex-referees, even the antiportistas said it was a penalty. If you have Record, Correio da Manhã, A Bola, CMTV, TVE, Seek, go on, so on and so forth, with the ex-referees, and I'm talking about ex-referees, not analysts, ex-referees, and they said, this is a penalty, no matter what, then it's a
Did they
penalty.
also say that it was an incredible hard call to make?
Hold on a second. Do we have VAR or do we not have VAR?
We have VAR. If the VAR...
Okay, was he used or was he not used?
It was used. It was probably
No,
used.
he was not used. Incorrect. He was not used. I had this argument with Steph. A couple of days later, we find out that now he was not used. The VAR recommended the referee to review the play, and he refused.
Okay, so then
refused.
So then it was used. The VAR was used, but the referee refused it.
So
yeah,
and now so let's go back to
hold on. How I see it is the VAR is always used once there's communication. If there's communication, the VAR was used.
That's being used. Yes.
Okay, but hold on a second.
So if one of the referees said, "Hey, I don't know if this is a penalty or not. You should check it out." He's like, "Okay, if you're not even sure, I'll go with a play on the field." That's what he went with. I mean, this play to me, if he hits the ball and he hits the player, he hits both of them. To me, it's incredibly harsh to call it a penalty, but you could always call it a penalty. I'm not going against that. But if the referee gets the indication from the VAR that's seen hundreds of replays and he's like, I'm not sure about this, he's going to say, I'm going to go with a play on the field. And I don't think people can be too annoyed at that because it's not a clear play. It's not something that it's easy to see. I mean, Steph and I were talking off the air, and they took him like 6 or 7 replays to notice there's a touch on from the Avs player. So I mean,
depending on the angle, that one angle shows clearly he kicked his hip and the ball, but he kicked him, yes. And Bruno, I apologize because we had this conversation before, but it is a penalty actually. It doesn't matter the intention. Because I heard Rui Fontes from Extra Tempo na SIC, and Rui Fontes, yeah. And then
Rui Santos,
caralho, pá.
O paneleiro encarcolado.
Pronto, isso não interessa. Mas Rui Santos and I heard the three attack and all that stuff, and they did say it doesn't matter if it's intentional or not. If he kicks a player, then it is a penalty kick. But with that said, it's a difficult call to make because it's happening really fast. So and he does kick the ball. So Rui Costa, when he saw the play, he could have seen only the portion when he kicks the ball only, because it's a hard call. Now the VAR sucks. It does in this play. It does. They suck because if I'm the VAR watching replay, I would have said, listen, he did kick him. But if Rui Costa still says it doesn't matter, go on with the game, it's still on Rui Costa's, decision making. So
hold on a second. So we have Rui Costa. Hold on a second. We have Rui Costa. Now remember what I just said. I give you a statistic. In the last 6 games that Porto has played.
What were those games? Do you know the games? Do you know the games before you?
I don't have them in front of me right now. But the last 6 games that Rui Costa has officiated Porto.
You come back to me next week with the games, and then we'll discuss them then.
Okay, and I'm pretty sure that there are games in which he cost us points because last year, if we recall, the game right before Benfica, I think he was one of them, and he did not see 3 penalties in one game.
This sounds like a conspiracy theory.
It's not a conspiracy theory. It's a fact. It's a fact that this guy was purposely put in this particular game.
You know what? It's going to be a fact when Jorge Sousa is going to be the referee on Friday, and Suarez is going to be on the
How would we know that?
And
How do you know that?
Mugged.
Okay,
I'm going to tell you. How about this? Peter, I will make a bet with you right now. It was going to be Fábio Verissimo.
Ew.
Okay,
Pode escrever aí. Fábio Veríssimo.
Olha, can I ask you a question, Bruno?
Fala.
It's a really sad day for you and the Porticho Nation when you rely on one goddamn penalty kick. And then I'm going to ask you something. What about minute 68? Minute 68, que perdida da Boubacar, que grande passe de Danilo Pereira. O camaronense recebeu a bola nas costas de defesa, vence com grande classe, mas o remate saiu por cima da baliza de Kim. Who the fuck are you going to blame on that one?
Ouve lá. Was it a determining game?
Ouve lá o quê?
No, I'm asking you a question. You don't let me.
Answer me why was Porto, they played the worst,
But no,
the worst game.
He missed like Brian Ruiz missed against Benfica, and you know, and they play him.
Listen to
and
me.
They blame him. They blame him for costing them the title. But the bottom line is this. Again, I'll say it again. It doesn't matter how good or how bad you play. Penalties are to be called.
I agree.
Listen, I remember.
You can focus 97. By the way, it's 97 minutes. You can focus 97 minutes in one penalty when your team played like shit.
Doesn't matter. Was it determining?
Listen.
It does matter.
Listen, hold on a second. I remember coming here last year when Benfica lost to Setúbal in the game that they played the worst football of their life, and Carrillo got taken down inside the box. It's a clear-ass penalty, and this one is clear as day. There's no doubts about it.
Clear
everyone,
to who?
Everyone. It was
no, it wasn't everyone because because it wasn't unanimous.
We're not going to talk about. We're not going to. That's a penalty. I don't care what
no, it's not because there was a clear angle that you see Carrillo jumping on top of the play.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. But you know, it was a clear penalty. And you know what I said? And you know what I said when I came on the podcast? That play does not save for what Benfica did. They should have come out with a draw. Yes, but they played terribly. And you can't say that. You know, Porto has a terrible game. For 60 minutes. I'll tell you right now, if Aves doesn't step off the gas, they would have won that game and by more than one goal because Porto wasn't doing anything. It took them to go down one man and to concede a goal to start playing football. You need to blame that on your team. You played 30 minutes of football. That was it.
Okay, and sometimes that's all you need to play. Sometimes you just need 10 minutes to play. That's just how it is. But the bottom line, it's a determining game. It's a determining play because if by chance Porto doesn't win this title by, let's say, 2 points, we can go always back and say those 2 points, which is just the game, could have cost us Porto the title because there wasn't a penalty that could have been determining in the game. That's the bottom line.
But I could have said the same thing about the 1 point that the 3 points. It's football. We're going to have bad calls against us, just like we're going to have bad calls in our favor. We're going to win games because of the ref.
Or you could go back and say, God damn, at minute 52nd, Corona was expelled, and maybe that's why we lost the game. Or God damn,
no, because they played better with 10.
At minute 68. Abubakar missed that goal that was so easy to make like Brian Ruiz did against Benfica.
No, it wasn't that easy. It wasn't as easy. That one was harder.
Believe me, he's a professional. He's a professional football player. He gets paid how much? 2.5 million a year. So
more than us.
You should have made that play. You want to focus on the penalty kick? Oh, by all means, have your flags outside your windows and run 3 laps around your block if you want to. But your team didn't deserve to win because they didn't produce enough chances. And the chances they created, they should have scored, and they didn't. Now you rely on a penalty kick when Danilo is facing the other way? Come on. On top of the box?
Steph, let me ask you something. Did you not win a game against Feirense in the 90th minute with a penalty?
And very good. So what?
That was a penalty.
How many times have you won games?
What if it wasn't called? What if it wasn't called?
If it wasn't called, then we would have won the game.
What about Braga? Didn't you not win? Didn't you get a point out of that game because of a penalty in the 90th minute? Similar. By the way, the 2 plays that I'm talking about are very similar to this one. They were both penalties.
And listen,
both are similar.
Against Braga, we got lucky. We got that call. It could have gone the other way.
They got lucky with the call that they got against the.
Did you get?
They won 1-0.
Did you get the points? That's my question.
We got the points that game, but
they're not going to get the points.
Okay, but you know what? Porto didn't get the points that they could have gotten.
No, but
they didn't get it because the penalty wasn't called.
No,
but the difference is one was called and the other one was not. That's my point. My point is that one was called and one was not.
through
my
the course
point,
of the 34 games, Porto is gonna lose points because of them. It's gonna lose points because of the ref, and it's gonna win points because of the ref. Because
Peter,
that's just how football is.
Peter, let me ask you something.
Porto dropped these 2 points. Hold on, Porto dropped these 2 points, right? Who knows that this weekend they have a shoddy penalty call and they win the game 1-0 against Benfica because of a shoddy penalty. It's gonna, that's the bullshit that it can happen. It's football. That's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be.
Let me ask you something. How many game tying penalties do you have this year? How many game tying penalties does Benfica have, or game winning?
I remember one against Rio Ave.
Benfica so far they tied 2 games and they lost 1.
Okay, and 2 games
first.
And then there's 2 games that they've already gotten penalties in. When they went down, they got immediately a penalty.
We were winning 2-1 when we got a penalty against Taves. We were tied against Rio Ave we were losing against Rio Ave when we got a penalty. And if we had any other penalties, we were winning as well.
And how many games have we played this season? 12, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You know how many penalties Porto has in favor of them this year?
Oh my God. Go ahead.
No, you have to answer the question. How many do we have this year?
I don't know.
12. You got 12.
0.
One every game.
0. We have 0.
So if you have one play that's a penalty, you should have had 1. Big whoop. Benfica,
but what do you mean?
If Benfica has 3, it's because there were penalties too. Even though I don't.
No, because one of them wasn't.
One of them was, but but there was a foul before the play. But all the other one, but there were penalties in the end. It was made the right call.
But hold on, did you get the calls or not? My question is, did you get the calls or not?
We're not always going to get the call. We're not always.
But hold on, did you get the calls or not though?
We got so far.
Okay, but here's the thing. Hold on a second.
I remember perfectly against Pacos. Go ahead.
You got calls this year. This is the difference. Porto has gotten 0 calls in favor. 0. You have already gotten calls. Sporting has already gotten calls. Porto has gotten 0 calls this year.
I haven't watched enough Porto games to.
But I'm telling you, you can look it up. You can look it up. 0 penalties in favor. 0.
But that doesn't mean that you had.
He's late on payments? Okay.
No, but that doesn't mean, bro. That doesn't mean.
What do you mean it doesn't mean?
Should have had 5 or 6 or 7 penalties.
So
if you guys only had 1 questionable play that could have been a penalty, then you probably should have had 1 penalty. If you're telling me that there were 4 or 5 penalties, no. If you tell me that there were 4 or 5 penalties that the referees missed, you can make that argument. But if through the course of 11 games, you didn't have 1 call that should have been a penalty, you can't complain about having 0 penalties. You want referees to make them up?
Well, hold on a second. There's been games already. They haven't called 6 penalties that should have been called for us this season. 6 in the first 5 games. There was 1 in each. Yeah. We won the game 1-0. The call when in the beginning of the game, it could have been a lot different. The game if they made the call, but they didn't. Porto had to play double to get the win. But again, did you get the call? The answer is yes. Porto has gotten 0 calls this year in terms of penalties. 0.
Yeah, we're going to see it happen.
So I'm going to use your criteria though. So let's just say you played shitty against those games. In those games, and you got those penalties. Then maybe you shouldn't have got those penalties because you didn't deserve it. You didn't deserve the penalty.
That's not what.
What do you mean that's not? I'm going to reason by your criteria.
I'm not talking about the play. I'm talking about the result. I'm not talking about the play.
But you got a result.
No. Listen. If you guys have a very good offensive play and your guy gets taken down, you say you deserve that penalty. You didn't deserve to win. That's different. 1 play does not make you deserve the win.
But it was a determining play. It's a play that could have resulted in 3 points.
That was 50-50.
50-50 in your eyes.
On the field, that's 50-50.
In ex-referee's eyes, that's a definite 100% penalty. Every referee has said it.
A lot of them aren't referees for a reason, but that doesn't matter.
No, they're ex, meaning that their time is over.
For what I know, one of the best refs, and I think for everyone,
Who?
Gomes said that I remember watching it that he said it's a penalty, but it's a very hard play. If the referees are saying that, how can it be complete? Like it's not. We're gonna have to close up on this, but this is not a play where it's 100% clear, at least not to everyone. So it's one of those calls where it's not gonna go your way this time.
Okay.
Maybe in 2 weeks' time you have the exact same play or something even worse where the player just kicks the ball and the referee calls a penalty in your favor.
Well, Ovla, I'm going to ask you one more thing, just so because I know you want to wrap this segment up.
Because we gotta.
If it was not such a big deal, then why would Benfica go to the trouble of manipulating the images? That's all I got to say.
Oh my god!
You got to talk about
First
that.
of all, I don't even know what you're talking about. I swear to God, I don't.
Well, you put it on your Twitter. If you put it on your Twitter, you own it. So if you put it on your Twitter,
I didn't put
you own it
on my Twitter.
No, not you, but Benfica. If Benfica put it on, if Benfica put it on their Twitter, that means that they own it now.
Did Benfica put anything on Twitter? Did Benfica put any? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm asking.
They did.
Okay, what did they do? What did they do? I didn't see.
They put a manipulated image. They cut some frames out. They cut 12 frames out. And if it wasn't such a big deal, if this call was much,
that's ridiculous for them to do
that. So why would you go to that trouble?
Why would you go to that trouble? That's bullshit. I don't know. That's ridiculous. That's stupid.
But you know what?
What do you want me to tell you?
It.
It's stupid. It still doesn't make it right. It's stupid. Just like it's stupid to have a whole day talking about the referees on PTV. That's stupid. It's retarded. I don't agree with it. I don't.
Listen, Peter. I kind of know about this because Rui Santos, not Rui Fontes, Rui Santos. He was talking about that yesterday, and the sad thing is, why did Benfica get involved in this? I don't know.
It's stupid.
It just brings more problems to themselves. It's been a ship sinking really fast when it comes to defending themselves with stuff that doesn't pertain to them. They shouldn't have gotten involved with this penalty kick.
100% agree.
That was very dumb of Benfica doing so. And then second, the emails, the new Diretor de Comunicação, he's been thinking. They came up with a new show, chama-se Chama Imensa.
Wasn't that a waste of time to watch? I tried to watch like 10 minutes. I was like, never mind.
O novo diretor de comunicação, apparently, he really sucks, and he's sinking Benfica even more and more to the point that a lot of Benfiquistas in Portugal, they're questioning why Benfica doesn't say we're not involved in the emails. They're questioning it because Luis Filipe never said that they all fake. He never said that. So a lot of Benfiquistas, they're questioning it now. Why don't you come out and just say, all the emails are fake. We have nothing to do with it. And another email came up now about the vouchers that at the same time the referees were told what to say. Before the news came out, Benfica already knew about the outcome, which is pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
I know, but there's nothing I can do about the bad management of these situations. I mean, as a fan, the only thing that I can say is I can apologize to everybody for creating more drama, for more unnecessary drama. But there's nothing. But I can't answer for them. I can't answer for them
no,
because
you're right,
I don't side with them. I don't agree with them on that department. Like if you're telling me that Benfica gets robbed in the Benfica Porto game, I mean, by all means, go ahead, use Twitter, use whatever you want to talk about the game. But if you're not even involved in it, it's just as ridiculous as Porto fans chanting for Benfica. It's the same thing. It's ridiculous. You know.
Exactly. I agree. Benfica shouldn't have gotten involved. I don't know why the official Twitter account from Benfica
thought that was a good idea. That's ridiculous.
And then they had the balls to say it came from a Sporting site, but a non-official. So we know how many fans we know of Sporting Benfica and Porto. They fucking crazy and they do a lot of photoshopping.
Yeah,
and you're gonna rely on that? Seriously, you're gonna blame?
That's a Trump move right there.
the problem with that website that they allegedly got the video from, they're actually anti-Bruno Carvalho site. Those fans are anti-Bruno Carvalho. If they're Sportingistas or not, they're still anti-Bruno Carvalho. So they're not in favor of him. And from what they say, they're not even Sportingistas. They just use Sporting Pendente, but they're not really Sporting fans.
Mas isto não tem nada a ver. Até podia ser eu. Eu até podia ter sido eu a fazer a manipulação do vídeo and then posted it on Twitter. But a Benfica official Twitter account should know better. You're not going to get.
You can't manipulate that. Like
Yeah,
everybody
you
knows
can't,
it's you.
You can't rely on a video created by a Sporting fan that doesn't represent Sporting. I don't represent Sporting. I love Sporting. I'm a fan, but I'm not official member of Sporting. So Benfica was totally wrong in getting the feedback from an unofficial Sporting website. And even if it was official, why would you get it? Seriously. I mean,
it makes no sense.
You have your own channels. Benfica has two channels, BTV1 e BTV2.
One.
Não, só um.
Já tiraram o segundo?
O segundo agora é o Correio da Manhã. O Correio da Manhã é o segundo. O terceiro é SIC e o quarto é TV.
Steph, when Sport TV bought the rights back for Benfica, Benfica were like, okay, we'll give you the Liga and Serie A, so we don't need BTV2 anymore. So they shut that down.
Okay, gotcha. But anyway, I mean, Benfica has a lot of good commentators. I mean, sometimes I watch to BTV to watch like handball or Hockey Patins, and they have good commentators, and they very unbiased. You know, they neutral, and they call the games the way it is, and they're not all that bad, Bruno. The Benfica.
Não sei, não vejo. I don't watch.
The only thing that's obviously pro Benfica is the actual shows. Other than that, I think they're pretty unbiased. I really like.
Well,
except for the games.
No, seriously, I watch.
The soccer games. Oh, Steph.
No. Isso é verdade. No, I agree with you. Miss, I'm glad to say that I watch other sports. I'm not closed-minded like most of you guys. I watch other sports.
don't take that shot at me, because I ain't that.
No, it's embarrassing that you don't watch other sports. You live in Portugal, and Benfica.
What are you talking about? It's not. I watch.
I hope so, because if you look at the Benfica, because of Tiki Taka Twitter account, I have to go and fish around in the Benfica official Twitter account, and Porto one too as well, so I can post stuff in your account, and they talk about all the other sports. So if you're Benfiquista and you say, "Oh, who cares about futsal? Oh, who cares about handball?"
So I'm not.
I'm telling you, you're not a real Benfiquista.
I'm not.
You don't support your team, your club all the way, or only because it's convenient, because you're winning in football, and the other ones you're not. It's not convenient. Then you're not a real Benfiquista. I really hate to say, then you don't know nothing about your club, nothing at all. You're insulting most of your professionals in the other sports.
All right, Steph. Thanks for the rant. No, I do agree with you, but we gotta talk about Sporting and West. I mean, I think we pretty much settled it that Porto didn't play well at all. They had a call, probably should have been called. They would have still won, but that was a bad game by Porto. Corona sent off, right decision.
Yeah.
I would talk about a Felipe play, but I mean, it doesn't matter now. So,
well, if you're going to talk about the Felipe play, you also have to talk about the one that Corona gets stepped on. That could have also been a yellow
hold on.
a slash red.
I'm talking about a handball by Felipe. So
handball.
I wrote it down. Yeah, Yeah, handball. He extends his arm. Remember when we talk about? I'll be extremely quick. Remember this Villar play where Villar has his arms wide, and you said that it's a foul and it's a red card. Well, Felipe extended his arms. Arango shot the ball. The ball clearly hit his arm. It should have been a foul and a yellow card for Felipe, but it wasn't called. Why not? Whatever. But there.
I think I know which one
if you want to check.
I think I know. I think I recall which one you're talking about, but no, they're not similar plays at all.
There we go.
But all right.
Anyway, let's move on to Sporting then. Steph, you take reins.
Okay, here we go. So Sporting went to Paços Ferreiros, which it's always a tough game. I called it. I said either 1-0 or 2-1, and the lineup was Rui Patricio. Then we had Piccini, Mathieu, Coates, and Fábio Coentrão in the defense. Then in the midfield, we had Gelson Martins, William Carvalho, Battaglia, Marcos Acuna, and then up front, we had Bruno Fernandes and Bas Dost. So basically, I was anticipating, this would be a very difficult game, and it was. Paços Ferreira is playing on a smaller pitch. They a much better team, and they were playing low block. We played on a 4-4-2. They played on a 4-2-3-1, which made the midfield quite heavy. And they had nothing to lose. I mean, against the big clubs, the smaller teams, they go all forward and they try to win the game at home. But we scored minute 20 by Battaglia, which at that time Sporting was playing a little bit better than Paços Ferreira. Then the second goal came on the second half by Gelson Martins at minute 75th. And I thought that was it. I was like, well, we're cruising 2-0. We're good to go. But of course, typically from Sporting, which if you suffer from heart conditions, you should never watch a Sporting game the last 15 minutes because sooner or later you will have a stroke or heart attack. Mark Baixinho scored a minute at 91, and then the last 2 minutes, Sporting was under control, and we won 2-1. But the man of the match for me was Gelson Martins. Rui Patricio didn't really have a really difficult day. He had one save at the beginning of the first half, but other than that, nothing like crazy. Paços Ferreira could have gotten another goal off the crossbar, a header off the crossbar, and then but we could have gotten a couple from Bas Dost at the beginning of the first half when he dribbled inside the box and he was one-on-one with the goalie, but then he pulled a good save. And then we had another one from Bruno Fernandes off the post again. But, the 2-1, I think it's a fair result in a very difficult pitch. And very happy to get those 3 points to keep the pressure on Football Club Porto and Sport Lisboa Benfica, which on Friday should be an exciting 13th round.
Do you know, this is cliche all over again? Are we going? Am I going to say the same thing? I think this game, just like last week, I was talking about a game. I don't remember. I think it was the Olympiacos one. I think right here, Passos had chances. If they make that game 1-1, it would have been really interesting. But unfortunately, Gelson Martins scored a very good goal that, killed the game, basically killed the game. But I thought it was a good game by Sporting and a good game by Passos because that was what we expected from a team of Petit. Sporting got a little bit unlucky, and then they ended up getting lucky on some plays. So, I mean, it's a fair win, but I would have liked to see them climb back from a 1-1 because that would have been good. I don't know, Steph. What do you agree with me or?
No. I mean, I agree with you, but that was not the case. I mean, we got the 2-0.
I know every time.
we got the 2-0, and that we were like in cruising altitude, and then off a corner kick, they scored the 2-1 at minute 90 plus 1, and I hate that. I really hate that because they always have to make it exciting, and
don't they though?
It ruins the clean sheet.
Yeah, the thing is, no, it's not. I don't care about the clean sheet. I care about the 3 points. But at this point in time, now you have the Benfica and Portista. Come on, Pass. Come on, you got 2 minutes to tie the game.
Well, not just us.
I didn't even.
Also the Sporting guys all freaking out. Sammy was having a heart attack.
I wasn't even watching the game by then. I didn't even know it ended 2-1.
But Paços Ferreira, they have some amazing fast players like Welton. He's very fast. I mean, I was like, wow, this guy's really fast.
Then, supposed to go to Porto, reportedly.
Yeah, then they have Luis Felipe, also really fast. I mean, those wingers cause a lot of problems to Sporting. But we held our own, and we won 2-1. And I think, me personally, I think it was a good win. And that's it. Now let's move on and let's pick up the slack against Bulnes on Friday and wait for the great game, which I will be watching as well, which will be Porto Benfica. I can wait for that game. As an outsider,
I can wait.
But anyway, do you guys have any comments? Bruno, Cynthia, any questions about the Sporting game?
Questions.
I just got something real quick. If Bruno doesn't have anything,
Of course you do.
which I don't think he does, because he's quiet.
Me, I have no questions about the game. It was it was one of those typical Basfari Sporting games. That was it. Hard fought and chippy, and that's about it.
Okay, so this isn't a question really about the game, and make it as quick as you can. But there was something that I've been noticing, and I think a lot of people have been noticing. Why has Gelson been playing nowhere near as good as he did last year? Do you think there's a special reason for this, or what do you think?
Well, no, I think actually he's just one goal away from his maximum ever. So he's actually better than last year. But the thing is, what people forget is Jorge Jesus requires his wingers to also play defense. And once upon a time, when Justin Martins came into the A team of Sporting, he was younger with no experience, and then he focused more as a winger, as an attacker. But now he has the mission of helping out Piccini. So he drops back. He's worried about that too. It's not only play offensively, he has to also watch his back, watch his six. So he has to help Piccini. And we've seen that against Barcelona, Juventus. I mean, my man has been playing defense a whole lot. The only one that doesn't play a whole lot of defense is actually Bas Dost, because he's a striker. He's tall. For him to get back, it's quicker than the other players. It takes him a little bit longer because he's taller than the other ones. But I think that's the main reason why. And I think now he's picking up the slack. He's coming back to his old form. So we spoke about that on the Sporting Updates podcast, and we could see the old Jason Martins coming back with more confidence in crossing the ball and actually taking shots at the goal. And that's what we saw past Fridays.
I maybe I was expressing myself a little bit. I think he wrong. I think what probably what it is that he's not such a big star right now. I think since the team's more balanced, he doesn't show off as much. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's why we're not talking about the Gelson of last year, because he's got Bruno Fernandes, he's got Acuna, and those guys also, take a bit of the spotlight away from him. So maybe that's that.
And that too, yeah, you're right. And that too, you're completely correct. Your assessment is 100% correct.
All right. So, all right, let's move on now to Benfica then and talk a little bit about Benfica. All right, so Benfica played Setúbal. They won 6-0. Let me give you guys the lineup. Bruno Varela was in goal. Almeida, Luizão, Jardel, and Grimaldo across the back. Feza, Pizzi, and Krovinovic in the midfield. Salvio, Servi, and Jonas up front. This game was really good by Benfica. I mean, since from the get-go, they were really attacking, really powerful. Something that I really enjoyed, and I hope they continues, they were very strong on set pieces. And, if you want to beat Porto, that's what you got to do. I remember right before the goal, there was a play on Luizão that, probably should have been called a penalty, but it doesn't matter right after we got a goal. So, but Benfica played really well. Jonas really good. Pizzi had a good game. I don't think anybody played badly. It was a good win. And I think Benfica couldn't have asked for a better time to have such a good game. I mean, I know it was against Setúbal, and I know they didn't really do anything, but the team played well. They got 6 goals. They're going into the Dragão, having a very good win, and Porto dropping points. So their confidence, should be at least better than what it would have been if Benfica and Porto would have both won. So, I'm hoping that this is more of a game that helps them gel and continue to show how they can still improve, because I think they're going to have a good game at the Dragão. If they win, I don't know, but if there was a time to have a good game like this, it's right now. Last thing I want to say before I let Cynthia share her thoughts. There's also a completely ridiculous disallowed goal that I don't understand how it's an offside. I'm sorry, but I gotta talk about it because the call was so bad. But anyway, in the 62nd minute, the Jonas had a incredibly ridiculous disallowed goal, or if you want to call it the play, because he did shoot the ball after the referee blew for offside. But this offside call was just so mind-boggling that I had to put it here. I know it's 6-0. I know it would have been an extra goal, or maybe it wouldn't have been a goal. But the call was so bad that you gotta mention it. So there we go. All right, Cynthia, what do you think?
I was happy with Varela. I think he was more confident than we've seen him, less shaky, I guess. Didn't Salvio score tonight?
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes, minute 48.
Yeah. So Salvio scored, which because of that
scored.
I have a yeah, like all the I don't want to say losers, but all the like underdogs came out and did well, I thought. I don't want us to get over confident going against Porto because, again, this is Stubble. They have 10 points. They're third from the bottom. You know what I mean? So, yes, we did well. Mario also looked at me when we were watching the game. He's like, every year there's one game against Stubble where we just rip them apart. And I'm like, yeah, like it sucks. Like poor Stubble. Like if I was them, I'd hate us. Like I'm pretty sure last year I think it was like 5-0 or something. Just
no, you tied and lost to them, so you shouldn't feel
bad. Oh, did
bad
we? Well, then who's the other?
Yeah.
Oh well.
Well, there's always Blanes is a shitty team in the. Blanes is the worst team.
You know what? Keep your hate to yourself because, like I've said many times, my avó's companion is Belenenses. Leave it.
Belenenses is the team that when the president goes to celebrate the Benfica titles in the Câmara Municipal.
Thanks for the information.
You should like them.
That we don't notice. Mas eu sou mais vermelhos que tu. They're
neighbors,
blue,
man.
But eu sou mais vermelhos que tu.
Not than me, but maybe others.
Listen, Belenenses is it's Benfica's C team.
Okay,
I'm sorry for mentioning Belenenses.
Why not?
Hey guys, let's see you finish, please.
Yeah. Why
I don't know what I was going to say. He started throwing your fake blue and white. Oh, come on, man.
Nothing. We were just talking about the game, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sad that Stubble was a team that we always beat by so many goals." And I said, "No, that's Belenenses." And then he went, "You keep your hate to yourself, Mister." Blah, blah,
you
blah,
should.
blah, blah.
Yeah, because you're a big hater, and Bruno's a big hater too. Bruno.
Gotta get him a nickname.
For Bruno?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to work on that.
I don't
have one off the top of my head. Huh?
Eu sou craque do caralho.
Sure you are. All right.
But no, like I thought it was a good game, but I don't want us to get overconfident because, yes, everybody did their jobs, but
I disagree. I agree with Cynthia here. I think the Benfica fans are extremely overconfident now because they forgot about all the games in the Champions League. They forgot about how poorly they played against CSK.
I didn't forget none of that shit.
Well, hold on. I didn't say you. I said there's a lot of Benfiquistas, and then we could talk about Three Tugas podcast because they already forgot about that exhibition. They kind of threw it out. It never even existed.
Thank God,
but it does exist. You don't go from 8 to 80 and 80 po 8. To me, I think that there's something going on. Nothing is forgotten. And we can't forget about the exhibitions that you guys had in the games against in Champions League.
What gives me confidence for this Porto game is how well we've managed against teams that are supposedly better than us. I mean, I know we did lose both games against Manchester United, but they were good games. They were, game against Guimarães was a difficult game, normally a difficult team. We won. Game against Braga, difficult team, but we won. These games where they're closer on paper, Benfica seems to play better. And coming off a good game, yes, it was against a bad team, but coming off a good game, they should be confident enough to know that they are capable of beating Porto. That's the only thing I'm saying. I'm not overconfident to the point where I even think we're going to win. I think we're going to end up, the best we end up with the tie. But what at least how I see it, and what a Benfiquistas I hope see it this way, is that if there was a game for them to have such a good result, it's right before it's right before Porto, right? Because as Bruno, if Bruno wants to turn this or not, you would have rather have Porto beat Setúbal 6-0 and Benfica tied against Aves with a shoddy penalty call in the end, right? So
I'm kind of looking at it this way. I think a lot of people in the red press are kind of not trying to mention this one very important detail, which is Benfica is about to play a Classico, and right after that they have a very difficult game against Basel at home, in which they don't want to
Can we
go into
just
the
forfeit
Champions
that
League.
already? Oh my god!
Well, hold on a
it
second. You
doesn't
don't want to go
matter.
into the. What do you mean it doesn't matter? You want to be the only team to go 0 points as a first seed?
No. But listen, if Benfica has to rest some players against Basel, who cares? I mean, at first, it's not a game that I hope it's not a game that's on Vitoria's head, because it shouldn't even be in his head. I mean,
No,
I think it should be, because
I see what Bruno. I see what Bruno.
I know what Bruno's trying to say.
Benfica would be.
I'm gonna make a joke of it, guys. Poor Svilar, he got an award for being the goddamn youngest kid as a goalie, and then 45 minutes later, yeah, and well, no, he got it for being the youngest goalie to save a penalty. Then he got it for being the youngest goalie to score on himself. So I mean, we're just taking all the shitty fucking awards. So just give us the award of 0 points. Let's get the hell out of here. Like, it's embarrassing. We are not ourselves. And I mean, that's the only thing that I took from this game.
And I get
was we
Bruno's
looked
point.
like us.
Steph, I get Bruno's point, and Bruno, I get your point. But
it's
a game that the Vitória shouldn't be thinking about, because it's.
I think you should.
It's Friday. You got Saturday. You got Sunday. You got Monday to rest those players. You got 3 days to rest those players. If you have to tire out Jonas for 90 minutes, you have to tire. And and you're lucky because Krovinovic isn't even on the Champions League. So if you have to tire Krovinovic for 90 minutes, you can. If you have to tire Feza for 90 minutes, you can. You play Samaris, I don't care. If you have to tire Grimaldo, you play Eliseo in the next game. This Porto game is crucial. First of all, because if Benfica wins, they get tied with Porto, same points, and they go ahead on head-to-head.
Listen.
What
Peter,
does this Basel game do to you? Nothing.
Peter, by all means, I really hope you guys don't give a shit about the Basel game, because you know why? Because it'll give me more ammunition to throw at you guys' face when you bother me with stuff. Because you know how many times Benfica fans and Portista fans mentioned Sporting losing against Bayern 6-1 e não sei que 5-3 when we
lost 7-1.
It's bloody embarrassing, isn't it?
It is. So,
how did you cope? I need coping methods.
Well, I cope the same way when you guys lost 7-1 against us. But anyway,
I hid. I just hid.
Yeah.
No. Uma coisa é contra o Sporting, agora outra coisa é contra o Celta de Vigo, onde foi 7-0. Não foi 7-1, because a lot of people like to say it was 7-1.
But Peter, that's it. That's why I'll really sincerely.
No,
I hope you guys don't give a shit about Basel.
That's not what I'm.
Because that'll be awesome for the future.
The only thing that I'm trying to say is that you need this game against Porto 1,000 times more than you need the game against Basel. That's all I'm trying to say. If you have to tire, if Jonas doesn't play against Basel, it is what it is. If Grimaldo doesn't play against Basel, it is what it is.
If it was Benfica, my focus would be on Porto. Who gives a shit about Basel? You're right.
And listen, they're professionals. And listen, they're professionals, so they should be ready by Tuesday. There's no excuse for that. So
I just don't want them to be embarrassed. If we're embarrassed again, like F.
You're not going to be embarrassed at home. You can't. You're not going to.
No, Basel needs to win.
I know Basel needs to win.
Yeah, they're going to play to win the game because they need to win to make it to the oitavos finais.
Oh my God! Please.
Yeah,
I know. I know, but that's next week. But that's next week. We gotta focus on Porto.
If you guys play with your B team, you will lose for sure.
No, that's
you will.
I don't think
Steph,
that's
you're not
gonna. But I
helping
don't
my
think that's
anxiety.
not.
Now
I
you'll
don't think
beat.
that's what's gonna happen though. I think if
Okay.
you rest 2 or 3 max, I honestly don't think that the puzzle game should be on Rui Vitoria's head. He should be.
No, you're right. Focus on
Let's
Porto.
let's try and get this win against Porto, and then we'll see the repercussions.
The only
it
thing,
is true though. It is true.
yeah. The only thing I would like to bring up about the Benfica Setúbal, which no doubt Benfica deserve to win. There's no question about that whatsoever. 6-0.
They can't all be penalties. Yeah, they can't all be called back.
Yeah, it's 6-0 and 6-0 really. But the only thing is we do not need referees like Luis Godinho. He has no business of being a referee, not even in China. Never mind in Portugal. I mean, come on. You're supposed to avoid yellow cards. You guys, you're winning 2-0 already. And then he shows a second card to Nuno Pinto.
Oh, the red card.
He got 2 yellows. Why was he so feisty and so willing to show yellow cards to the point that you guys were winning 2-0?
It's the same thing with the Porto and the Portimonense one, right? Where you could have saved them the second yellow.
I was hoping they would go on strike. I was hoping. I was
like in the middle of the game.
No, because they said, "Oh, we might go on strike," and they said, "No, we're gonna give you guys 20 days notice now." So they decided not to go on strike, but we need referees from the outside. Our referees completely suck. They suck.
They do, and there were calls, like that offside call where I don't know if you saw it, but it was just one of the most ridiculous offsides I've seen. Because he's way onside. There's not even a question about that, and he missed a simple call in a simple ass game. In these games is what I like to call it, and to finish off and talk about the Classic. These games is where you see if a referee is good or not. Because if you're not talking about him, it's an easy game. They shouldn't even be noticed. You shouldn't even know his name by the end of the game, to be honest with you. If you do, there's a problem.
Just for you guys to be completely clear, the rules and regulations of the UEFA, FIFA, and any league, not only the Portuguese league, it's to avoid to show yellow cards and red cards. Of course, if it's worthy.
Some of them don't know that, apparently.
If it's worthy, do show yellow cards and red cards. But it's to avoid. In Portugal, that memo never got to them. The APAF is so aggressive in showing yellow cards because
I think they take pride in showing yellow to control the game, quote unquote.
It's better to be like talk to players are adults and professionals. So if you talk to them, hey, listen, Pedro, a próxima vez eu vou te mostrar cartão, pá. Porta-te melhor.
I know that. And how many times did I get annoyed when I was watching a Benfica game, a big game, and it was like 2 minutes in, and this happened once or twice, or 3 times. You guys know how Maxi Pereira is, right? And there's a play.
No, I don't.
It's like 2 minutes in, and he gets a yellow, and I'm like, man, he's already giving him a yellow on a play that isn't even worthy of a yellow. Why is he doing that, knowing what the player is,
Okay, but Maxi Pereira also has a bit of a hothead on him, no? Like
I know, but you're not going to yellow card him 2 minutes in for a foul that isn't even a yellow, knowing that he's going to commit 4 or 5 fouls worthy of a yellow, and you're not going to send him off. So
then
why
he's
even show the yellow in the
down.
first place?
Because he's too saucy. Simmer down.
What about the play with? It doesn't really matter, but I'm just going to bring it up to see your opinion. This would be my question to the 3 of you.
Good.
What about, I don't know if Cynthia knows, but if you don't know, you're about to find out. The player from Sporting de Famalicão, Ariel Papel.
Ariel Papel, yeah.
Yeah, he got a yellow card minute 4 because he said, "O que foi, caralho?" How many times have we heard players?
Steph, you're wrong. Steph, you're wrong. He didn't say o que se passou, o que foi, caralho. Ele disse o que se passou-se.
Bruno, pronto. Tretas.
But he didn't swear?
Tretas, yes, he did. Não tá
No, if everybody did that, we wouldn't finish games, and referees wouldn't
I
be
know.
allowed to referee because
The-
they say something back. They say shit back, like "Go fuck
Shit.
yourself, go to the corner." Like,
How many
get the
times
fuck
have
out
you
of
heard
here.
Portuguese game gritar puta que pariu, filha da puta, caralho, pá.
Exactly.
How
I
many
think
times?
it's kind of like punctuation for Portuguese to speak
No,
like that,
but
guys.
it's like in sports, it happens. It happens in every sport. You're not going to send somebody off for that unless you're.
But he
and,
did.
and sometimes, that's ridiculous.
He
Steph.
did.
That's all I'm going to say.
But
And-
that's
and-
what I'm saying. Why is that path so aggressive in all of a sudden?
That's something you got to ask them.
Some of them are card happy, yeah.
You know,
We've
like
a lot. It's been a
They-
Portuguese
they-
thing.
they're not
forever.
going. They're not going to church. It's a soccer game. It's a football game. God damn it!
No, yeah, I know. That's ridiculous. If that was actually something, it's just ridiculous because sometimes players say like "Go fuck yourself, ref," and sometimes they say "Go fuck yourself" too.
Yeah,
They don't send them off.
é
If
parte
they
do
sent
futebol.
if they sent everybody off that say "Go fuck yourself, ref," then we're fucked because
We
we're not
wouldn't
gonna
have
have
a game.
games. Exactly, right? But
Even the coaches, bye everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody got a
right?
red card.
right?
Yeah. Our
Even the fans get red cards. Come on.
yeah, I know. They get kicked. They get kicked off of the stadium. Yeah, but
There'd be no team. There'd be no fans in the stands. There'd be nobody at
Nobody.
home watching
Yeah.
on TV. There'd be nobody. We'd be at a ballet.
I think the our referees, they bring too much attention to themselves. They love to be o artista do dia. They love to be in the spotlight.
They're Kardashians.
And they should be blending in with the game, and we shouldn't even be noticing them.
That's
And
that's
how
that's
a
why
referee
that's
should
when I told you like in
Mhm.
those easy games, if you know the referee's name, then you know that he's not doing a good job. Because this and I'm gonna this off right here. But if you're playing a Setúbal Benfica and Benfica wins 6-0 and you're talking about the referee, then man, oh man, is he bad?
be.
All right. So let's talk. I don't know, 5 minutes or so of the Classico. I already weighed myself in. Just going to recap real quick. I think Benfica is going motivated. They're going, knowing that they can win this game, but also with the conscience that it's going to be a difficult game, but knowing it's a great opportunity for them. Personally, I expect either 1-0 loss, 2-0 loss, or 1-1 tie. I don't see us winning that game. It could happen. It could happen. It's not completely, impossible. But yeah, I don't know. Cynthia, how are you going into this Classic?
Okay, so they play on Friday at 3:30, and I'm just giving that to everybody at home, just in case. And I'm giving them a 1-0 over Porto, just because polvo and all. Going to do some witchcraft during the week.
I like that. I like that, Cynthia. I like it.
Thanks, sweetheart.
Hello?
Bruno.
Fala.
Hello.
You need me
No,
to give
you
me
follow, silly.
you want me to give you the score?
Pois.
You do.
Well, the score is
Tell me
this.
how you're going into the game.
The biggest question for this game is who's going to be Benfica's center backs? Is it going to be Luizão and Jardel? Is it going to be
Oh my
Luizão and Ruben Dias? Is it going to be Luizão and Samaris?
Are you
That's the
serious right now?
question.
Depending on these three guys, you change your score line?
Yeah, because if it is Luizão and Jardel, and Porto starts with Boubacar and Marega, I think it's going to be a blowout. And I'm not trying to just talk
And
trash.
what's a blowout?
I really think 5-0.
Ih, com caralho, foda-se. Até...
The last
Now,
time
who's
Porto-
overconfident now?
the
This
last-
doesn't sound
the
like
last time-
he's
the last
overconfident.
time-
Gee.
The last time that Porto won 5-0 against Benfica is because Jorge Jesus decided for some fucking reason to put David Luiz at left back going up against Hulk.
Listen, you shut your mouth about
hold
David
on.
Luiz.
But hold on. Well, time out. Because right now, David Luiz is not even wanted at Chelsea at the moment. But
Ah, wait,
Just
that's-
leave
that's
him
completely out of-
alone.
that's
completely
beside
out
the
of-
point.
Yeah.
Why do I say that? If you the two things that are very obvious about Luizão and Jardel is they're tall, but they're very slow. Versus Abubakar and Marega that are big, strong, and very, very fast. So if Porto is smart, Conceição is going to say, just keep on playing through balls to the backside and let these two guys run onto him. The Porto's going to have a field day.
I hope
You see
Conceição
what I'm
doesn't
saying?
listen to this. Yep, I hear you.
Well, but listen, man, he's smart enough to figure that out. So that's why I
I hope
say,
not.
is it going to be Luizão and Jardel? Is it going to be Luizão and then someone else?
All
If
right,
it's
tell
Luizão
me.
and someone else, go ahead.
No, you just have so many score lines. What are your scores? What are your possible score lines? It's
Go ahead.
anywhere from
No, but
5-0 to 20-0. What are we going here, bud?
No, I mean,
Oh my
to me,
God.
if it's going to be Luizão and Jardel, it's going to be a 5-0 game. And again, it's not me talking trash. It's me,
No, not at
you
all.
know, tactically.
You're being very realistic. Yes.
I know
it
what he's trying.
wouldn't be the first time this season. It wouldn't be the first time this season he would have lost 5-0. Let's not forget that. It wouldn't be the first time.
But, I don't want to invite you back no more, buddy. You're oh my
Bro,
Lord.
listen, I get what you're trying to say, Bruno, but the odds of such a blowout happening is, it's not impossible, but if you're telling me that Porto exploit that and score 2 goals, yeah, because I don't even think that, it just depends on how many opportunities they create. First of all, I think Brahimi could be a non-threat because that's what he is most of the times that he plays Benfica. Andre Almeida, for as many flaws as he has, he controlled Gelson last year. He can control Brahimi. It's not a big deal. Grimaldo, I think he's gonna be able to handle whoever's gonna be on that left side, even if it's Marega. Abubakar doesn't threaten me because he misses 5 out of 4. I mean 5 out of 4, 5 out of 6. So 5 out of 4 would have been difficult. But
that's including the last game.
Yeah, that's including the last game. I think Abubakar isn't as clinical as someone like Jonas. That doesn't worry me.
Contou e vocês ganharam, não foi?
We could stop talking trash.
Contou. O Abubakar, quando marcou, vocês ganharam. Então contou. Que marcassem agora lá no Aves, olha que caralho. Querias um penalti, não?
Boy. Mas não te preocupes. Hopefully throughout the season you're going to need a penalty and it doesn't come e depois é que vai chorar.
Não, e depois vou dizer depois vou dizer o Bastos nos jogou uma merda, ou o Gelson Martins, ou o Dúmbia nos jogou uma merda, because we Portuguese, we're depending a lot on penalties. It's not only Portuguese as well too. You have to get used in scoring the live
I defend the penalty, Steph. If you had a very good game, you weren't able to find that winning goal, and there was a terrible call not called in your favor. I'm always going to defend a penalty there.
Yeah, of course.
But if you're telling me that you play for 90 minutes, and you depend on one play to win the game, I mean, bro, you're a big team. If you're Pacos, if you're Rio Ave, if you're Marítimo, if you're whatever, I mean, by all means. But if you're the bigger team, you can't. But anyway, okay, so Bruno gives out a big score line. I give, 2-0 maximum for Porto. That's as far as I go. Cynthia thinks Benfica is going to win 1-0. Steph,
shush.
What do you think?
Thinks it's just going to happen.
I think it's going to be a tie. Porto is playing better. Rui Vitória is depending on this game to actually stay at Benfica. He hasn't been doing great, like Bruno brought up in the Champions League, which a lot of Benfiquistas they don't like it because you're not used to it. That's the truth. You're a big club, and being in that position, it makes Benfiquistas uncomfortable. So I think Rui Vitória is going to be smart, and he's going to play low block, and he's going to play counterattack. That would be me because you don't have
hopefully
you don't have a strong you don't have a strong back four. Your defense this year is weak. It doesn't matter the combination that you put in on the pitch.
It does.
They're really bad.
To me personally, if you put Ruben Dias and Jardel, I'm a very happy man. But that's just me.
Jardel,
I like Jardel.
He's been scoring a lot of goals on his own net.
Come on.
But all I gotta say, Benfica has a chance to win the game on a counterattack if they play a low block, and there's no shame to that because Porto is playing better. So if I'm Rui Vitória, that's the way I would play. A low block, counterattack, and then go for a tie, and hopefully a 1-0 counterattack goal. Other than that, if they play head-to-head to Porto, I have a feeling that they will lose. But me as a Sportingista, I'm hoping you guys tie.
Thank you.
Well,
I
you
prefer
need
a
it so that
win,
way you
but
guys can be the Christmas
I'll
champion.
take the tie. I'll take the tie for sure. I mean, the tie to Dragões was a good result. I mean, it is. So I'm not going to hide from it.
Yeah,
Last year was a good result.
Yeah, Porto is playing better, but at the same time, we've seen some weaknesses against Besiktas, which at home they play real well. They're a tough team to beat, and then against Aps and then Portimonense against Portimonense they didn't play that well either. So,
right, and didn't we see? Well, in my opinion, Sporting was the best team in the league, and they played Porto at home, and they barely escaped with a draw.
And it has
who barely escaped with a draw?
Sporting.
Ah,
O Sporting. Vocês jogaram melhor. Everybody.
It was before your time, Bruno.
way better than Sporting.
Yeah,
Nobody hides that.
No,
but you mentioned something about Portimonense. Let's not discredit what they've been doing. They actually have a pretty decent team. They play well, and they're one of the better teams in the league. And it's a Taça de Portugal game. Let's look at Real Madrid. Real Madrid just tied a second division team at home.
Yeah,
I know.
Okay, so
play the best lineup. Guys,
Real Madrid played with a B team. You guys played with most of your A team. There's a difference.
No.
There's a difference.
No. We played a lot. We played with some backups.
We gotta start to wrap it up.
But okay.
Ok, Peter, calma, pá. Já sei que estás em pijamas e queres ir dormir, mas espera, caralho.
Not that. I mean, I think we're about like 1 hour and 30 minutes, which would be the max we've ever gone. So.
Great. There's some Portuguese in China listening to us, and he likes it.
Brilliant.
Mas anyway, so just to wrap it up, I think it's going to be a tie. But se o Rui Vitória tem juízo na cabeça, he'll play low block. If he plays head-to-head, it's going to be an ugly game.
Okay, and then Sporting and Belenenses play. What are you guys going to say for that one?
You guys go first.
Easy win for Sporting.
Right. I'm gonna say that Sporting usually chokes in this week. They usually have a bad performance, knowing that what could happen in the other game, especially
the pressure,
later.
sure.
The pressure, they buckle under the pressure most of the time. And let's look at I said that they were going to tie 2-2 last game with Bas Freire, and I wasn't very far off because it was a lot closer to 2-2 than it was going 3-1, for example.
Not really, but whatever.
Much
we had one off the post from Bruno Fernandes. We had one that Bas Dost missed one-on-one with the goalie. Come on. Tu deves estar a ver bonecos
Anyway.
Much pronto. I think it's going to be a tie, and it's going to be 1-1.
Peter?
All right. I said Sporting.
5-0?
Is it
It's
at
in
home or
Sporting.
It's at Alvalade.
Oh yeah,
It's
5-0 then. It's gonna be an easy
Steph,
win.
what's yours?
Mine's going to be, of course, Sporting winning 3-0. And to Bruno, the only thing I have to tell him is like this: dream. That's all.
Daqui uma semana vamos falar.
Não, uma semana não, a gente vamos falar logo depois do jogo que eu te chamo logo, caralho.
I don't know. Ficas todo nervoso. I won't hear from you in 3 days.
No. That's only the top games, Amma. That's only the top.
Oh my God.
Did you say your opinion on the game?
Me?
I think it's going to be either a tie or just like a goddamn lucky Sporting win, by like 1-0 or like 2-1 for Sporting. But I hope it's like 1-1.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If Bulletin scores first, Sporting ain't winning.
Okay, guys, there's just one thing I want to say. Really quick, it'll take me 30 seconds. It's important. In futsal, Sporting qualified for the final cup of the UEFA Cup. And then in table tennis, for the first time in our history, they made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. That's it.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyway, we'll be back next week. Maybe Thursday, right? Because of...
No, it's not maybe Thursday. It is Thursday because of that Salvio goal. We're going to have Maz on.
Woohoo!
There you go.
Yeah, I know, Mariana. Bruno, you better shut up. No, I'm just kidding.
Two women.
Who's that?
Benfiquista.
She's a
Benfiquista.
Nice young lady.
Mas isto é Tiki Taka Podcast ou Benfica Podcast? Como é que é?
It's a little bit of both.
Oh, cool.
It's Shut
It
Up Bruno
depends.
podcast.
All right, we'll see. We'll see what's gonna be. But anyway, we'll see you guys next Thursday. Then we're gonna be talking about the Classico, obviously for I would say 99% of the show. So sorry about your sporting stuff.
Bruno there? Yeah.
Opa, you know what? I'll take a day off, bro. I'll take a day off.
Hey!
Yeah,
It's okay.
He doesn't mind. Anyway, so thank you, Bruno. Thank you, Steph.
No
Thank
problem.
you,
Thank you for
Cynthia.
having me.
We'll see you guys next week then.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
okay, Peter Pan. Thank you.
Have a good night,
You
everybody.
had to go there.
Bye.
Good night, guys.
You had to go there.
Good night.
You-
Kiss.